All right, so this is going to be on the problem type, making an inference using a two-way frequency table. A group of 200 college students, so 200 is the total, that's our sample size, in this case n, where n is just the variable we use to represent our sample size. They were interviewed. They were asked whether they passed their math course and whether they live on campus. So we have two variables, passing or failing your math course versus housing, whether you live on campus or not. Their responses are summarized in the following table. Now, if you add these values, 32 plus 66 is 98, plus 22 is 120, plus 80 makes 200. So there you can verify that all of your sample is taken account for. So everyone fits into one of these four boxes who you surveyed. All right, so to answer this first question, what percentage of the students passed math? All we're worried about is who passed math. We are not worried about whether they live on campus or not. So in terms of passing math, that would be 32 plus 66 so a total of 98 students out of the 200 surveyed, but it wants it as a percent. So we want to write it percent out of 100. To get from 200 to 100, we would divide by 2. So if we do the same thing to the top, then we're just converting this into a fraction out of 100. 200 divided by 2 is 100. 98 divided by 2 is 49. So the percentage of students who passed math is 49% of them, whether they live on campus or off campus. Now in this next question, it's asking us the percent of students who live off campus. So here we're just looking at this variable. How many students live off campus? It looks like 66 live off campus who passed math, and then 22 who failed and live off campus, right? So that would be a total of 88 out of the 200 students surveyed live off campus. So if you were to make this into a percent, again, we would divide the top and bottom by 2, you would get 44%. So 44% of students live off campus, while 49% of them passed math. All right, next, it's asking us the percentage of students who live off campus and passed math, right? So of the students who live off campus, meaning we're just looking at these ones, right? What percentage of the ones who live off of campus passed math? Well, that was 66 of them out of the total 88. So let's calculate that as a percentage. 66 of the students who live off campus. So this is what it's out of, the total of students who live off of campus, which is 88, as we said. And we want to write that as a percentage. So go ahead and let's divide. (66) divided by 88 gives you 0.75 or 75%. So 75% of students who live off campus pass math. All right, and the last question is asking us to think critically. Is there evidence that students who live off campus tend to pass math more often than average? So let's think, what does the average mean? Well, the average is just the average of number of students who passed math, right? And that was 49%, as we saw from part A. And then, is there evidence that students who live off campus tend to pass math? Well, how many of the students who live off campus passed math? We said that that was 75%, right? That was from part C. So since 75% is a lot greater than 49%, There is evidence, and it's because what we found in part C is much greater than the percentage we found in part A, because A tells us what the average is for passing math. We are not concerned with living off campus, we're concerned with the average for passing math. There is no average for living off campus. Our answer would be